Welcome back. Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i will this morning appear before the Senate's Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights over the halting of licenses and permits of betting and gaming firms. The event will take place at the mini chamber in County Hall located in Parliament buildings. Let's cross over there and listen in.
Advanced Gaming Limited, Mombasa Bet Kenya Limited, Asian Betting and Gaming Limited, World Sports Bet Limited, Atari Gaming Limited, Secunde Technologies, White Rhino Ventures Limited, Oxygenate Game East Africa Limited, Seal Capital Limited, Galaxy Betting Limited, AGP Lottery and Gaming Limited, CYSA International Limited, Nestbit Kenya Limited, Sahara Game Technology Limited, Dreamcall Limited, Kick-Off Sports Bar Limited, Millionaire Sports Bet Limited, Kenya Sports Bet Limited, G&P Trading Limited, Advanced Innovations Limited, and Sporty Bet Limited. These were the companies that their license were either or suspended and have not the presence of the CS, our CS in charge of Treasury. I'll give him later to introduce himself and his team. So the question was, under the Standing Order 48.1, provides that the Senator may request for a statement from a committee on any matter under the mandate of the committee. And I know you have in the statement, the Senator sought the following information. The circumstances that led to the shutdown of telcos, Baybill numbers, and short codes of 27 betting companies, and that is why I've stated all of them. 2, the mechanisms that have been put in place by the government to ensure that there is continuity of sports nurturing and development after the shutdown of these companies. 3, the legal framework and the conflicting jurisdictions between the national government and the county governments on gaming and gambling and casinos. And 4th, the consequences that gambling has visited on this society. Families are breaking up, people are committing suicide, and so many other things are happening because of gambling. And we wrote to each one of you with specific issues to respond to. And of course, the order of making your submissions will be as follows, and it is important I guide you on this. Firstly, avail your copies of your signed memorandum to this committee before you present. We'll give between 5 to 10 minutes for each company, and if you have an association where you can use to present all the issues, or your colleagues or other companies have raised the same issue, you don't need to visit. You can just highlight what you feel your colleagues have not raised, and then make sure if you have any document or a copy of any document, you should present to us, so that when you are presenting, you can just make highlights, because in the interest of time also. And I want to guide you that this committee has the same power as the High Court. So there is a procedure, an order that should be followed. So I would want to urge you that let us highlight. If you have written submissions, it would be better, but if you are given opportunity, just highlight the key issues that you need the committee to. On the suspension and revocation of license, and then the way forward, what you think the committee should look into the future, because we would be interested as a country, because all of us are Kenyans, to resolve this issue once and for all, so that in future we don't run into where a blanket decision, this is a country of rule of law, so it should be followed to that. So before I invite the first presentation, I have noted the presence of our CS. Maybe he can introduce himself so that he can be on record. In charge of Treasury and Planning.
Thank you very much, Chair and Senators and members present. First, I want to apologize for having come in late. We had another meeting and we were trying to piece up some matters. So, my name is Nelson Gaishoye, Chief Administrative Secretary, National Treasury and Planning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I would want to, my apologies. We have been joined by Senior Counsel The leader of minority, maybe he can introduce himself so that he can be on record. Senator Orengo.
James Orengo, Senator Siaya.
Thank you, Senator Orengo. So I would now request that we move quickly to the substratum of the matter before us. So I would want to invite the Ministry of Treasury, National Treasury and Planning to make a presentation on the issues we raised. And then after the ministry, because they are twin, they are both government agencies, the Kenya Revenue Authority. So that, and then I will advise you as we proceed. So CS Mheshimiwa.
Thank you very much, Chairman. The request from you.
Waziri, people, the senators cannot see you. So kindly, maybe you can.
Can I propose that he uses the dispatch box?
Yeah, please. Kindly. Yes, you can use the dispatch box. At least you are not new to dispatch box. You have been a member of parliament. So I know you'll be comfortable to use the dispatch box.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Thank you very much, Chairman and Senators. I want to pass this to the KRA because what you're asking us about is tax matters, for which of course I can present, but I think the best way would be the Commissioner to come and present. I can go ahead.
If we start with KRA, and if there are policy issues, then the ministry can summarize.
Okay.
Being
then,
the boss
you
of
can
the
start with KRA, then you can come and summarize.
Thank you.
In case of policy issues and directions.
Thank you very much.
So, Commissioner. So you can proceed.
Thank you, honorable members.
Maybe, Commissioner, before you proceed, if you have copies, we would wish that the members be given so that we can be in tandem, so that we can follow.
I don't know whether you have a copy.
Aware of the issues which the tax licensing.
Was there any copy that was supplied to our...
But it's fine, we have it.
Yes. Please, let's get the copies. Members can share if they are not sufficient.
She cannot be seen. You can see her. If she sits down, we can see.
She can start.
Yes. Members, check your folder with this by care representation.
We have not seen.
You have not seen it, yes.
Oh, you have an extra copy.
Okay, Commissioner, you can proceed, and maybe now that we have copies, you can highlight the major salient areas so that members can follow. So I call upon members, let us and our guests.
Okay, thank you. I'll give a brief on actually the issues we've been having with the budget, and mostly in reference to the queries raised by the Senate. So one, it was on policy background and taxation of betting, lottery and gaming sector. Chair, when you look at page 3 of the document I've just given, you'll find that we've had changes in the law.
Point of order. The media are requesting that if the lady seated at the front with Mr. Karauri can move one seat, because they cannot see her, and then you sit there. We're also being sensitive to you. Thank you.
Yeah, please, so that
Yes, so that you sit.
and so that also you can, the media can be comfortable. I think that's what they are requesting. So our apologies for that. You are now comfortable? Okay, you can proceed, Commissioner.
Okay, Chair, when I'll refer you to page 3 of the document I've just circulated. So this document, the page gives the policy background on the taxation of betting, lotteries, and gaming. So 2014, the law that introduced taxation on this sector was introduced. So this has been evolving over time. So I'll go straight to the issue at hand. The issue at hand is on winnings. The Tax Laws Amendment Act 2018 actually introduced the meaning of winnings. And the meaning was winnings was on the net, that is the stakes less winnings. This was subsequently changed in the same Finance Act 2018 to give the meaning to be the payout, without actually indicating that it is winnings less the stakes. So this is the law which actually KRA has been trying to enforce. This is the law that has created actually dispute between the industry and the authority. So in terms of compliance, there's been non-compliance by the industry in complying with this provision. One of the mandates of Kenya Revenue Authority is to ensure that the law which is made by Parliament actually is enforced, is complied with. So in our bid to enforce the law within the industry, actually we have tried to engage the betting sector. We have engaged them several times. So the action KRA has taken so far is that we have raised assessment. Why have we raised assessment? When it comes to enforcing the law, we ask ourselves, what does the law provide? The law provides that if there is a winning, we take the betting companies to be withholding agents for the government. We are not asking them to withhold their money. They are withholding winnings of the punters. So this is a provision which up to now, they have refused to enforce. They have refused to comply with. And if you refuse to comply with the law, we have recourse to that. Because we cannot come back and say, as KRA, we have failed to enforce provisions of the law which are actually enacted by Parliament. So we have raised taxes amounting to 61 billion. And I would like to tell this honorable House that the source of our taxes is from the board, BCLB. Yeah? So the sources of our taxes is from the board, and this is something which, after getting, we share with the companies. So the main contentious issue is the interpretation of what a winning is. If the law was changed in 2017, that a winning should not be winning less stakes, it cannot be changed to mean the same thing. I hope I'm clear there. Before, when you look at the
Senate Committee on Legal Affairs discussing the halting of betting licenses and permits in the country. Interior CS Fred